Amber. No, I'm sorry, Heather.
Yeah.
I was looking at her. Sorry.
All right. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God, thank you for this day. Thank you for the city and this council and our citizens. Please bless this meeting. Amen.
Amen.
Heather. Roll call.
Yoder,
Here.
Coward,
Here.
Marble,
Here.
Elbert,
Here.
Venable,
Here.
Davis,
Here.
Atkinson,
Here.
Young.
Here.
Thank you. Okay, hearing of citizens' comments. We have Eric Savington here from the Community Foundation of Central Missouri. So Eric, if you'd like to come up and chat, we'll give you the floor and then we'll open it up to any other comments.
Thank you. I'll just take a few minutes. Been working since April 1st with Kate and different ones, and so I thought it would be a good time to come and just what is a community foundation. So born and raised in Buckland, Missouri. I live in Marshall, Missouri right now. Our offices are in Columbia, and so since April 1st, I've been the executive director of the Community Foundation of Central Missouri. Central Missouri, Boonville to Fulton, Kirksville down to Jeff City. And so we have 10 counties that Community Foundation that we work with. We have a board here in Boonville, and I'm going to talk just a couple of minutes about what we do with the different cities that we're a part of. So obviously Columbia is our backyard, but since April 1st, I've been driving back and forth from Columbia to Marshall and stopping by at City Hall to do some of the work that we do. So I've got just a couple of minutes, and then if there's any questions anybody has. So, and Kate, if there's something that I need to mention that I've forgotten, I hope that you would suggest it. So the partnership between Boonville and the Community Foundation and Fulton and Jefferson City, that's all very similar. We have a board, and we meet with the board monthly, every other month, and depending on the city, it depends on what we do. And so right now what we're doing in Boonville, there is a fund that we put out grants, and so we're in the grant cycle right now. So organizations, and maybe you know some of the organizations have applied, and the grants committee on the Boonville board has made their decisions, and so on December 5th they will give out $17,500. And so when the Boonville Community Foundation started, there was a fund established, and so annually there's around between $15,000 and $20,000 that are given back to Boonville. So I always want to make sure that cities recognize that we don't come in and take this money and go back to Columbia and play in the sandbox in Columbia. This is what happens in Boonville stays in Boonville. And so that's something that is always a question that comes up to me, is like, well, why are we going to establish funds and then you're going to carry it back to Columbia? We do carry it back to Columbia and we invest it, but the money stays back here in Boonville. So I just want to make sure that everybody's clear of that. Some examples of some funds. Sometimes people say, well, what does a fund do? And so it's easy for me to give examples so you all will maybe understand what those funds are. So Boonville has 4 funds right now. And so the Animal Shelter has a fund. Boonslick Regional Library has a fund. The Legacy Fund, which was established right off the bat, and that's where the fund, the grants come from. And then we also have a Katy Bridge Redevelopment Project Fund. And so I could get into anything that you wanted to, but basically those funds is money that goes right back in. So why is a fund established? So these organizations aren't necessarily nonprofit. And so when they receive a gift from somebody, it's not tax deductible. So how do you give a gift to an organization that's not tax deductible? Well, you start a fund with a community foundation because we're tax deductible. We're a nonprofit. So you start a fund with us, and as example, and we just got some checks for the animal shelter that I got. So the animal shelter, the money will come into the fund of the animal shelter, and it's designated to go back to the animal shelter. It doesn't go anywhere else. We invest it. Commerce Trust is where our investment is, and whoever sets that fund up gets to determine how risky they want to invest. And then that money is then given back to the animal shelter or what have you. The library, I know the Boone's Lake Library, that's something that has been a project. We did something similar in Columbia. There was a welcome center. They weren't a nonprofit. They couldn't receive donations and be able to give tax benefit to people. So they started a fund with the community foundation. We received the money, receipted back as tax benefit, and then now they're building their welcome center, and the money that's in the fund is now going and paying all the construction. So that's, you know, my mom's like, what in the heck are you doing, Eric? What is a foundation? What do you do? So that's a little bit about what we do. One of the questions is how can the cities, whether it's the council, the city hall, mayor, what can you do to be helpful? Word of mouth is the biggest thing. It's not really fundraising, but it's something that we need to talk about and everybody be aware. When a nonprofit is looking to raise some money and they don't know how, we have a staff. You know, if fundraising was easy, everybody would do it, and there would be no business or anybody that would ever struggle. But we have a staff that will come in and help. We won't necessarily ask for the money, but we will be the tool, the mechanism to allow somebody to go out and get some money to benefit their cause, and then we will receipt it. We dance with the IRS. When people don't want to dance with the IRS and jump through all the hoops, we will do that. We're set up. There's a lot of organizations that want to do things, but they can't or aren't willing. We have some businesses that wanted to start a foundation to benefit their business. And instead of going out and hiring staff and trying to do all of the things with the IRS, they start a fund with the community foundation. And then we dance with the IRS. Help me if there's a better way to say that. So there are 8 of us as far as umbrellas: Central Missouri, Kansas City, St. Louis, Springfield, down in St. Joe. But there's 8 of us here in the state, and we cover all of the counties. I don't want to take up any more of your time, guys. I guess what I wanted to do is make sure that you all are aware, as I'm hopeful that on December 5th, we're going to have a little get together, and the organizations that receive these grants, it's anywhere from $1,000 to $2,500. I hope that the foundation here in Boonville will get together and maybe take some pictures and maybe get the word out. So Kate's got my cell phone number and my email address, and when things get up and conversating about nonprofits and being able to give some money that can help locally here, I hope you'll get in touch with me. So Kate, what have I forgotten? Is there anything that
I think just a little bit by way of background for you guys who aren't here. I think we started in 2010, so we've been working with them 14 years now, and it came out of, in 2009, the council at that time kind of underwent like a strategic planning retreat, and one of the things that the council and the city administrator at that time wanted was another vehicle to be able to do activities, because it seemed like often the city kept getting more things on their plate, like the Katy Bridge or downtown redevelopment, whatever, which we have a role in, but maybe we're not the star player or didn't necessarily want to be the star player. So we viewed it as a way of giving an opportunity for citizens to be able to give their money to a place in order to direct it how they wanted it to be spent. And that was kind of the intention behind it, and that's why the city did actually seed the Legacy Fund at the time. And then the Katy Bridge Fund was from the Katy Bridge primarily. We gave a little bit also to seed that one, but the rest of them have since kind of come up from people who cared. And there are also a couple individuals or families in Boonville who have created specific funds that they do and manage that are separate from us, but they're still managed under that. So I feel like the Community Foundation has a pretty big toolbox. So even if the animal shelter wasn't your passion, but parks was your passion, there's a way to do that. So that was the goal and that was the hope. And, you know, I think it's been slowly getting more and more recognition, but it just takes a long time to kind of garner a foothold. So.
Yeah, it's slow. I wouldn't say this is slow. Compared to some of the other cities that I work with, you guys got a strong board, an active board. They went right at these applications. There was a lot of applicants, and so yeah, maybe you'd like to, maybe we'd like to have more money quicker, and we would all want that. But comparative, Boonville's doing all right. Last thing, and then I'll let you guys get on with your business. Some examples that have come up in the first 6 months that I've been doing this. I've had 2 situations where people have lost a loved one and raised some money for a scholarship, and they didn't know what to do with the scholarship for a high school student to go to college. So they start a fund with the community foundation, and they name it in memory of their family member. Tell us exactly, it needs to be somebody that's going to stay in the state, or somebody that's going to be studying education or whatever. They can set that up. They have GPA if they have to have a certain GPA. So that's been a really good tool, and I've been able to set up a couple of those scholarship funds. One other one that was fairly big in Columbia, King Daughters Dental Aid, and it's an organization that's been going around for 25 years, and they came to us, and the ladies on that in that organization said, we don't have any young people coming and volunteering be on our board. It's going to go away. And we've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars to give to young people that need help with their dental health. And we're afraid that that's going to go away. We don't know where this money is going to go whenever we pass away. And so they established a fund with the community foundation, set up all of the guidelines that they've been doing for the last 20 plus years, and then now it's on us to manage that money and give that money out. So those are some examples, and sometimes it's easier for me to explain what a community foundation is by examples. So Kate's got my contact information. I'm in through Boonville weekly, and so if anybody has any questions or want to get together and visit about some ideas or something, I hope you'll reach out. So.
Okay, do we have any questions for Eric? What's the best way to give? What's the easiest way to give? If you just wanted to give a non-solicited fund is that possible to do, or does it need to be specific?
Usually we have unrestricted funds. I encourage people to find what their passion is. You can give to a scholarship fund. You can give to anything that you want to. Go online. We've got our website, cfcmfoundation.org, and we've got a list, and you can go on and you can give that. But there's a lot of people that come with already their passion in their pocket and ready to give to that. So
excellent. Great. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay. I'm sorry. Do we have any other comments for citizen comments? Moving on to approval of the minutes. These are the October 21 minutes. They are not in your packet, but Amber did email those over. If everyone could review the packets and comment on any concerns or questions. They will stand as submitted. Consent items. We have 2 consent items tonight. We will take these in one approval. These can be found in your packet on pages 3 and 4 and 5. If you look, one of them is a credit back for contingency, and the other is a payment. These are full, and I will take a motion to approve the 2 consent items.
Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion we approve these consent items.
Thank you, Drew. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Whitney. Discussion or comment? Roll call.
Yoder,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Tarble,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Atkinson,
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes. We'll follow up with the presentation of accounts and claims. This can be found on page 6 of your packet. Amber?
Ordinance appropriating money. Be it ordained by the council of the city of Boonville as follows. Section 1, for the purpose of paying salaries in various accounts against the city of Boonville, which have been allowed by the council at the regular meeting thereof on November 18, 2024, the sum of $535,099.12. General Fund, $155,537.84. Sanitation, $6,074.27. CIP tax, $78,811.25. Waterworks, $107,915.03. Capital projects, $0.00. Wastewater, $85,230.92. Tourism, $6,161.16. Gaming, $66,788.28. Parks and Water, $28,580.37. Kemper sales tax, $0.00. Economic Development Project, $0.00. Section 2, the accountant is hereby authorized and instructed to draw checks on the respective city bank accounts in favor of the persons whose salaries and accounts have been allowed as above, amounting to $535,099.12, being the total amount of money being appropriated. Section 3, this ordinance shall take effect and be enforced from and after its passage. First reading on November 18, 2024. Read for the second time this November 18, 2024, since a copy was made available prior to the meeting.
Second reading, title only.
Ordinance appropriating money.
Mayor Pro Tem, I make a motion that we approve this ordinance.
Thank you, Whitney. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Brad. Questions or concerns? Roll call.
Yoder,
Yes.
Coward,
Yes.
Harville,
Yes.
Hilbert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Atkinson,
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on, unfinished business, we have none. New business, we have none. Reports of standing committees, we have a report from the Housing Authority of the City of Boonville. This can be found on page 8. The notes are in there. Heather, were you able to attend this meeting?
Yeah. Everything seemed to run smoothly as usual. The PIC report for October 31st, 2024 was 100%. Tenant occupancy was at 100% October 31st as well. They wrote off a bad debt of $411, and they are doing independent water testing performed for lead drinking water in specific locations.
Excellent, thank you. Any other questions or concerns? Thank you, Heather. Report of city officials. Public Works monthly report.
It's in the packet.
It's in our packet if anyone has any discussion or talking points. We also have the Board of Works public meeting, which was held on October 29th, 2024. This is on page 11. Notes are in the packet. And we'll move on to miscellaneous. Does anyone have any miscellaneous topics for tonight?
I have something.
City Clerk.
Yeah. So the election, for candidate filing, the election's gonna be April 8th, 2025. So the filing period for you to come to file to run is December 10th through the 31st. And you just come see me at City Hall, and it's $25 filing fee. And you guys on this side of the room is who is up for re-election this year. So, there you go, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. City Councilor?
I don't have anything. I think we're going to take it up in closed session. So.
Okay. City Administrator?
Just a heads up that the work at the upper floor renovations of City Hall for the prosecutor's office are occurring. So if you come into City Hall, we're inheriting about 15 new people. So there's gonna be fewer people. And also I think the YMCA is starting sort of right around the 1st of December as well. So I know there's some disruptions that are gonna occur. So if you're an avid YMCA user, just stay tuned for those.
Okay, thank you. Nothing from the Mayor Pro Tem except if you want to notice the gaming report on page 13 of your packet. It's always good to see these. If anyone has any questions or concerns, you can see the summary there. Anyone else has miscellaneous? Yes, Barry?
Mr. Mayor, I had some people in my ward calling me up, telling me they're receiving letters about lead in their pipes and the water. Can you address that?
Yeah, so as a piece of the lead service line inventory, the city or any publicly owned utility service had to tell the customers the results of the survey that we have undertaken so far. So most people there's 3 options, I believe, on the letter. There's like needs no replacement, like it's PVC or PEX or whatever and looks great. There's galvanized, likely needs replacement, which is sort of a scary term, but there's a lot of uncertainty about that. And then lead, which would obviously need replacement. So the galvanized one, it has to do with the soldering and the lead soldering and the lead soldering. The galvanized can absorb those particles and then it can pass it on to the water. So depending on the soldering, how much soldering, there may or may not be lead present in your water. We can't tell that from just our survey. So you can have your water tested. That's one option. There's a lot of companies out there that will do it. And I think here, Jeff, who'd you say does it? Is it Cooper County?
Here in town? Mm-hmm. You can get a kit. It's probably the easiest way to do it. Just get a kit and test it yourself.
Okay, so you can get a kit to test your water. The piece of this that I want to say is that if you do fix your water line, then and on the other side, our water line is also the service line owned by the city is also in a needs to be replaced status, and you replace yours, then we're obligated to replace ours. So if you have that and you decide to replace your service line from the meter to the house, you need to call the city, and then we'll go out and change our part of the line. And the customers of the Boonville Public Utility and the customers of every utility will receive these letters every year until you change your water line. So they're going to be a recurring thing that you will receive. If there is a lead service line, obviously you would want to replace that. We will also probably be mandated to replace it. I don't think they've finalized the ruling on when we have to replace that yet. But if we do find lead lines, that will be something that we would prioritize anyways to replace.
So they're gonna replace the lines from, the customer need to replace the lines from their house to the main, and the City of Boonville or the Public Works Utility replace the lines from the meter to the water, to the main.
Correct. So they'll go from the box to the house, and we go from the box to the main.
So how did they get all these letters then?
We
You
wrote
send them
them.
out to everybody?
We had to send out 1,200 letters. So that's why there's a lot of people had galvanized. That was probably I would say probably our most common when you say. So
Should we have already received those letters? Because I didn't get one.
They're all in the process now.
Oh, okay.
I got two weeks ago. I got one today.
Okay. Yeah, the lead kits are like $8 on Amazon, FYI. But yeah, I didn't receive a letter.
So have all the mains been checked?
they're still finishing up. Our contractor is still doing our excavations. I don't know. Do you know how far along he
It's
is?
gonna go into August of next year. I mean, it's gonna take a long time for them to dig up all these.
So have they found any problems with the mains? They're all
We
good?
haven't found any lead lines, literally lead lines.
Good,
We even
good.
used 800 lines to excavate.
Yeah, I'm saying, this has been going on for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys will recall, like, when there was an incentive for people to let the city come out and inspect their lines, and it was a $10 discount on your water bill, I mean, that goes back to, I think, spring, or it was definitely last summer, was when they were trying to kind of keep things rolling by offering a discount on your water bill, to have people come out to inspect it, so the city could check off a lot of those. And now, like Jeff said, they're still inspecting lines. So those letters that are going out, they're gonna continue to trickle out for quite some time, once they say, okay, here's what we found. But
And then I think just, again, our understanding is that if you have galvanized or lead and you're trying to sell your house, at some point in time, you have to disclose that, and that's all we know. So there's no requirement for the customer, the citizen, to replace their line at this point in time. It's just you're gonna be notified that your line may or may not have lead contaminants.
Thank you, Barry. Good question. Does anyone else have anything for miscellaneous tonight? Okay, with that, I will entertain a motion to go into closed session citing RSMO 610-021 legal and personnel.
So moved. Second.
Thank you, Whitney, and thank you, Drew. With that, we will end open session and go into closed session. Thank you, everyone.